What is going on, everyone? It is Luca here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a minute since I've weighed in on the Toronto Raptors' current state. In today's video, I just want to talk about the Raptors, where they stand, their tankathon odds, and what's going to happen moving forward. As this team, it's very clear they have their sights set on the upcoming draft. They have been strategically tanking. However, that has not gone to plan just because of how easy their schedule has been. So we're going to just talk about it. I'm going to give you my raw thoughts on what's been going on when it comes to Raptors land. Do me a solid, guys. Smash a like on the video and smash the subscribe button for more content just like this. Definitely going to have some more Raptors uploads on this channel. But it's been kind of like a stale, dull time. I can't wait until the season is over because I'm tired of hate watching my own team. That's what it's become with all the tanking and wanting to see the Raptors lose. I mean, it's clear to see, right? The Raptors, as much as they're still technically alive for a play-in spot, like, they're not going to get that play-in spot. They're trying to lose these games. It's been interesting to see their approach game to game, you know, resting starters and interchanging that, whether it be sitting out Pirtle one game or sitting out quickly the next, and then resting starters in key moments of the game, really limiting minutes from their main players. You know, Scotty Barnes and Barrett's now got an illness. So the Raptors have done whatever they could, really, to try to put themselves in a position to lose these games. But that being said, they still have gone the other way, which is not good if you're a part of Tank Nation and wanting to see this team lose. And at this point, that should be what you want to see, because there's no point for the Raptors to win these games. But you look at the Raptors, I mean, they have fallen to the number 7 spot in the tankathon. They missed out on a big opportunity via the Sixers on Monday night because the Raptors, they got blown out by the Suns. It was finally a no doubt about them loss. The Raptors had been in some super competitive matchups as of late, but the Sixers, who held a big lead over the Rockets, ended up losing that game. So if you look at the tankathon, the Raptors, they still have some ground to make up when it comes to surpassing Brooklyn and Philadelphia to get back to that number 5 spot that they had not too long ago. But then the Raptors did a bunch of winning. And you look at it, that Orlando series, when the Raptors won back-to-back games, I think that was the turning point, because from that point on, I mean, this team had all momentum in the world. So they beat Orlando 2 times in a row, talking about the March 2nd, March 4th matchups. Then they beat the Jazz. Then they could have very well beaten the Wizards, but Jamal Shedd's game winner didn't count. But then they went on to beat the Wizards, the Sixers, and the Jazz. So the Raptors, just like that, I mean, they put up, what was that, 6 wins in 7 tries, and then they fell back to reality a bit in that game against the Blazers. Of course, it was a tightly contested game. The Raptors didn't play their main guys down the stretch, so that paid dividends. And then they got served a reality check going up against a desperate Suns team. They got blown out by 40. So you look at the remaining schedule for the Raptors, it's going to be tough for them to potentially move on up, because the Sixers, they have been tanking big time. The Nets, you would think, are going to be continuing their tank, and the Raptors do have another tough matchup coming up against the Warriors. But then after that, when you look at the Raptors' last, 12 matchups, they're only going to be taking on one team that actually has something to play for, and that's the Detroit Pistons, in terms of trying to improve their playoff positioning. I won't even count that Bulls team as a team that's got something to play for, just because the Bulls are kind of locked into that play-in spot. So you're looking at matchups after that Warriors game against the Spurs, who are tanking, the Wizards, who have been playing well lately, but still the Washington Wizards, the Nets, who are tanking, the Hornets, the Sixers, who are tanking, the Bulls, the Blazers, Pistons, Nets, Hornets, Mavericks, who are probably shutting it down, in the Spurs. So that is a whole bunch of bad competition. At the end of the day, we've seen, like, management tank, players don't. And, you know, we've seen some impressive performances from guys like Lawson, Orlando Robinson, and, you know, when the Raptors were putting up all those wins, it's like the lottery gods were, or the basketball gods were punishing them, because it's like, you're trying to lose these games and we're going to make you win these games. So that has been the fine line here. It's like Raptors management is doing everything they can, but these players are still going out there and they're playing hard. Now, you can get critical and very, very specific on certain points. Like, for instance, you know, the game that stands out to me that the Raptors ended up winning, that Jazz game, It was a 3-point game going to the fourth quarter. Darko ends up playing the starters in the first couple of minutes of that fourth. The Raptors blow the lead up to a double-digit lead, and then he takes out the starters. It's like maybe they could have benched the starters before the start of the fourth, so you have a chance to lose that game. So that's what I want to see more of. You're going to be very mindful of the minutes that you play, your starters. You're obviously going to interchange guys who sit, guys who play, but the Raptors got to just flat out play the game, right? Like, if you're in a close game, rest the starters from the start of the fourth quarter, limit their minutes in the second half, and really just take this thing seriously, because at this point, that's what your season is all about. And Brandon Ingram, I don't expect him to be back. It wouldn't be wise for the Raptors to bring him back. This is a team that has very clearly made their intentions clear that they're not trying to push for anything. They're not trying to win this season. They're trying to just bottom out. They're trying to lose these games, even against these bad teams. So I'd be shocked if we see Ingram at this point. I would hold him out till next season. I don't think that's a hot take or anything. That's just stating the obvious at this point, because you don't want Brandon Ingram to come back and all of a sudden he's contributing to this team stealing some wins. So I would continue to just do this approach, and again, just really tank hard in the later portion of games in that second half. Don't play your main guys. But you look at it, with that being said, unless luck is on their side, the Raptors are kind of locked into that number 7 spot. And Bleacher Report put out their latest mock draft, and Wasserman has the Raptors selecting Kamen Maluak. He's the big man from Duke. He's got 7'2" size. He's 250. They've compared him to Mark Williams, and Maluak is so interesting to me because this is such a Raptors pick, and I think if the Raptors end up number 7 and Maluak is still on the board, which I think he would be, the Raptors, like, this is their guy. And for as intriguing as he is, there is a lot of risk to him. He's basically that unknown pick where it can pan out in a big, big way, or it can fail in a big, big way. But you look at, his 7'6" length, defensive mobility. He does have elite finishing. It makes for a very intriguing fit with all of a sudden having him next to the likes of Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. So his rawness, it makes him a real unknown, but given his size and just upside, if he does figure it out, I think he would be the Raptors guy. Of course, the Raptors, they can get lucky. Hopefully the lottery gods reward them for ethically tanking earlier in the season, and they can get some luck and jump. Remember, the Raptors did jump when they selected Scotty Barnes in 2021 at number 4, so hopefully the Raptors can jump and get into that top 5 or even get into that top 3, or obviously best case you get number 1, but I'm not holding out on that at all. But yeah, just looking at Maluak, I think he would be a logical pick for the Raptors there. They're kind of looking for that center of the future. I know Pirtle's not old by any means, but he's in his prime now. So I think Maluak with Chomchi would be pretty enticing. But of course, there's a lot of time between now and then. I just wanted to look at Bleacher Report's latest mock draft. But Maluak is a name that has been pretty synonymous with the Raptors as of the last couple of days, just because it does seem like the Raptors are going to stay locked into that number 7 spot. But there's still time. There's still games remaining. The most important thing is the Raptors, they got to do whatever they can to lose these games. I know as a fan who wants to watch this team win, who doesn't like losing. I mean, what fan does like losing? Like I said earlier, I hate that we got to endure this. I can't wait for next season, but for the rest of this season, I just want to see the Raptors put themselves in the best position, lose these games, give themselves the best lottery odds, and then make the right choice. Because I think there's optimism going forward for sure. I think this team, there's a lot of excitement with Ingram in the fold, but you did kind of bank on getting a top pick. At least I did. And the fact that the Raptors have gone the other way, it's been a disaster with them falling and winning these games, which in essence are meaningless. But again, players are not going to go out there and lose games purposely. So Raptors just got to strategically do a better job down the stretch here, and hopefully they get some luck down the stretch where, the Sixers and Nets slip up and they can get back into that bottom five record. But it's looking like the Raptors are going to be locked into this number 7 slot unless they get a little luck when the draft lottery commences. But let me know your thoughts, guys. What has your reaction been to watching the Raptors as of late? I'll be doing a bunch of content about the draft, mock drafts, all that and more. But that is it for me, guys. Luke signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like and subscribe on your way out. I will catch you all again in the next one.